It seems like the mainstream media are slowly waking up to the story of silver. There's so much noise, there's so much news in Asia particularly, and India, the Middle East. People, wow, silver's running out. And then they see about the short position, the short squeeze. This is a short squeeze, and there's all this noise. And I think it's a bit of a distraction. Don't get away from the big picture. And that's what the bankers want. They want you to be distracted by short-term noise. Jeffrey Christian's talking about the shorts, the longs, the hedges going long, and this, and moving from the COMEX to London. It's all to distract you. The big picture is very simple. Just go up high, look at the big picture. 100 years ago, the big bullion vaults around the world, central bank vaults, the big vaults, they were all full with gold and silver. Because all through history, there hasn't been electronics and industry that used silver. There's been little bits of silver used in photography and things like that, but it's easy to get back. And gold and silver never really went down. It was always just going up and up. It was in surplus. Gold and silver have been in surplus. There's been stuff that's been lost in shipwrecks and things like that, but very little, and it's often found again in the future. Sometimes it's buried and lost, but sometimes it's found again. And then something changed in the last 100 years. Advancements in technology found that silver is such an incredible industrial metal. It's the best conductor of electricity, it's the best reflector of light, it's the best thermal conductor, it's the best acoustic conductor, it's got incredible antibacterial properties. Silver is a miracle metal. And as technology gets more advanced, more silver is needed. Started about 100 years ago. All those bank vaults were starting to get drained because more silver was getting used in industry than was being mined every year. It's not a problem. 60 billion ounces of silver has been mined through all of history, and the bank vaults were full up with 60 billion ounces. That 60 billion has been falling by about 1 billion ounces every 10 years for a long time now. That means that more silver is being trashed away in industry than has been mined. It's about 1 billion ounces every year has been mined, and that's falling. It went down to below 1 billion, 0.9 of a billion, 0.8 of a billion. Soon it'll be 0.7 a billion, because the mines are running out. They're scraping the bottom of the easy to get to silver. So the bank vaults have been getting emptied. Every year, silver is in deficit. That's official. Nobody disputes that. What we dispute, analysts like me, dispute the numbers. I think the deficit is far larger than they're telling us. But officially, the main figures, the official figures, there's a deficit. More silver is getting trashed away in industry than is being mined. So the bank vaults, how could you call it? Some people call it the free float, the stockpile. The world's stored silver has been getting less and less and less every year to feed the deficit. And that silver gets used in industry, chucked on landfill or wherever, wasted, dumped. So the bank vaults have been getting emptied slowly over the last 100 years. And the speed at which they're getting emptied is picking up pace. It's getting faster and faster and faster. That space that used to be filled up with silver, they take it off the pallets and they get right down to the bottom until that whole section has been emptied of silver. And then they start on the next section. Meanwhile, gold is in surplus. Pretty much all the gold that's mined every year is surplus. Yes, gold gets used in industry, but it's so valuable that the manipulated price is so much higher, it is always worth recovering it from landfill. Always, or any industrial use. Gold is used in electrical conductors and things. It is always recovered. This is why 98 or 99% of all gold ever mined through history is still in available supply. About 1% has been lost in shipwrecks, buried and forgotten about, or used in industry and not recovered yet. So 99% of all gold ever mined in history is still in available supply. The exact opposite is true of silver. 98 or 99% of all the silver that has ever been mined in history is no longer in available supply. It's still on planet Earth. It's not been destroyed, but it's been spread out in tiny little connections, electrical connections. Now, I've had some interesting figures about recycle costs. It costs about the same to get an ounce of silver or an ounce of gold from the earth. A silver mine or a gold mine, the process is the same mining costs. Sometimes you get gold and silver together. It's called electrum. And electrum is exactly the same to mine the silver or the gold. The costs are the same. Now, it's exactly the same for landfill or waste dumps. It costs the same to get an ounce of gold or an ounce of silver back from landfill or waste dumps. The same cost. Gold is £100 per gram. It's more like £110 a gram. It is economic to go through the tons and tons of waste to get 1 gram of gold back. It costs thousands and thousands per ounce, you know, per ton of earth waste you have to go through. But it's £100 a gram. I don't know how many tons of waste they have to go through, but they to get a gram of gold back, it is economically viable to do so. Only just. Silver is £2 per gram. Gold is £100 per gram. Silver is £2 per gram. It's just not economic to do that. You have to go through tens or I think hundreds of tons of waste. You know, if it's kitchen waste, food, toilet roll, shoes, clothes, you know, and you might have a few of these little appliances had a little LED light in it or a little LED connection, or the connection is tiny bits of silver, and you have to go through so many tons of waste to get a gram of silver, and that costs £2. That's worth £2, and it will cost you thousands of pounds to go through hundreds of tons of waste to get £2 worth of silver back. It's not economic to do so. All recycling centres should just shut down and go and buy the gram for £2 off the open market. Something is wrong there. It's really seriously wrong. The bankers, who are criminals and involved in this criminal activity, manipulating the price of silver by selling huge short positions of silver that doesn't exist, they have manipulated silver so low that it is not economic to recycle it. And silver is used in these tiny amounts spread around billions of applications every day. All the different electrical items that are made and use silver and copper. Copper's quite good to get back because it's often large amounts. It's not there is little tiny amounts that they don't get back, but big wiring, big copper things, it is economic to get that back in many cases. Still a good buy. Copper's still a good investment, I think, but silver's far better. So think of all these bank vaults 100 years ago that have been slowly drained of silver, and that space has been full up with the excess of gold. Gold's in excess, gold's in surplus every year. They're struggling to find space to store it. They're going to need a bigger vault, and they just put the space that used to be filled up with silver is now, the silver's gone, it's all full up with gold. And this is confirmed now. All these big vaults are now completely filled with gold. The silver has gone, the gold is in the space where the silver used to be. They've run out of silver. The free float is pretty much all gone. There's about 0.8 of a billion ounces of silver mined every year, and demand is like 2 or 3 times that. We don't know the figures, how much military are using, but we know some of the other figures, and that is looking like it's going to increase a long way. And people say, well, they're going to thrift silver, they're going to try and use less silver. Why would you do that when it's only £2 per gram? £2 per gram. It's not worth trying to, because it's so cheap. It's still too cheap. Silver has gone up a long way, but it's still far too cheap. How do we get to this situation? People are going to look back and they're going to say, why didn't anybody see this coming? Why didn't anybody say the bankers who are manipulating silver are going to cause a massive problem in the future? They're going to cause a massive shortage of silver because the bankers are selling billions of ounces of silver that they haven't got, and they're making it look like the market's flooded with silver. It looks like the market is trillions and trillions of dollars of silver being traded back and forth. Oh, there's loads of silver, but that's all broken promises, paper and digital promises, and they are causing a massive problem. Because of that, there's no need to do any thrifting, try and use less silver in this new technology, because it's so cheap. £2 per gram is just, historically, it's unbelievably cheap. And those of us in the freedom fighting community, there's a big One Planet community, and there's Chris Duane's the Silver Shield community, we are saying silver is far too cheap. It's been manipulated low by the criminals. Because of that, it's been trashed away just like it's cheap plastic. Just like silver's just a cheap nonsense commodity that is very plentiful. Trash it away. Don't try thrifting it. Just use loads of it and chuck it away. Every few years, get a new cell phone. Get a new laptop. Chuck that silver away. There's no point trying to thrift it out. There's no point trying to use less silver. Just trash it away. And in all these experiments and things, trash away the silver just like it's cheap plastic. We want that to end. And those of us in the freedom fighting community, we want that to end. I'm just going to park up here and then I'm going to conclude this video. So, I've had a lot of criticism. Someone said, this guy in the Mind of Steel, he said, so Dave Silver's saying all these freedom fighters, the freedom fighters, he calls us truthers, all these childish names for us, tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, they're saying save the silver and the copper, save the last of it while it's still so cheap. And he said hoard it like a Scrooge McDuck to stop the evil men trashing it away and putting it in landfill. And he's criticizing us for that. That's stupid. Oh, that's so stupid. Well, I think it's quite smart, and I think it's doing a very good thing for your family and for the earth. It's generational wealth. My children are going to be very, very wealthy. I'm certain of that. And I'm not stopping now. I'm going to keep taking silver out of available supply while it's £2 a gram. It's incredibly cheap. It's a gift. Thank you, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, HSBC, all the criminal bankers who are manipulating the price lower than it should be. Thank you very much. I can take it off the market so incredibly cheaply, and you can too. And mark my words, these low prices won't be around for much longer. Silver's going to become unobtainium. If you can take as much as you can off the market now, you will be very happy you did that in the future.
Theory is that instead of using silver and copper industrially, which of course is the most important use of these substances, we should instead hoard them like Scrooge McDuck as